This is the Creative Boom podcast with your host, Katie Cowan. My next guest is Neef Rehman, a web developer and designer working for ustwo in London. He's actually one of two people to head up ustwo Adventure, a side venture that exists to support early stage companies that share similar values and creativity to the London agency. This year, Neef has helped to launch First Mile, a new programme for first-time founders, which provides 12 months of mentorship and personal support, with anything from tech troubleshooting to building a long-term strategy. Those who are chosen will also get £10,000 to help cover costs and part-time desk space in ustwo's London studio, should they need it. It's been an interesting career for Neef so far. He studied physics at university, but discovered a love of design after dealing with data at one of his first jobs. Neef kindly came up to Manchester to chat about this and much more. I'm here with my next guest, Neef Rehman. Thank you for coming.
No, thanks for having me.
You come all the way up from London.
Yeah, it's been ages.
Yeah, because you're originally from around this area.
Yeah, I'm originally from Warrington, home of the first IKEA in the UK.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, exactly. Very famous. And Pete Postlethwaite, rest in peace.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, speaking of IKEA, you know, that was my kind of home branch, because I'm from this area as well, obviously. And
spent a lot of time in the Was.
I have spent a lot of time, you know. Yeah. I got my first teenage bedroom from IKEA, and I think I've still got in my mum and dad's old house, there's still the old kind of pine framed kind of ceiling lights.
Yeah,
do you remember those?
I
With
do
the
remember.
Kind of white plastic pointed dome that hung down.
I remember.
Very
so Warrington
cool.
Still has its mark on your family home.
It does.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. We've gone through all the trends.
Representing. I'm very happy about that.
So what took you to London?
University. Yeah, moved down for uni. And then just stayed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fell in love with the city.
The beautiful capital.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a capital.
But it hasn't gone to your head, because you were quite happy to come and meet me in Manchester, which is very rare.
Yeah, I love coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love any opportunity to see, like, to come back to Manchester. I was here a couple of weeks ago, loved it. Yeah, I like coming back.
Sounds like you go around quite a lot of the country at the moment.
At the moment, yeah, I'm on I'm in a team of two, so me and my colleague are calling a road show of the UK, which has been quite fun, actually. I've been to Bristol, Southampton, other places.
That you can't think of at this time in the morning.
Yeah, it's very early for me.
And this is because you're behind ustwo Adventures, is that right?
So I'm one half of the adventure team.
Wow. And you've just been given the complete authority to run with this idea and...
Yeah, kind of. So, adventure, I joined ustwo kind of when adventure was just sort of rearing its head as like a part of the group. Mm-hmm. So ustwo is like most, I guess, like to put it as succinctly as possible these days, it's a design, technology, games and venture studio. Yeah. Which started 15 years ago, but at the very beginning, it was just those two first bits. So design and technology studio. So we work with clients to do a lot of the strategy and thinking and designing and building for digital products and services for them. But I guess maybe 6 years ago now, we started to diversify the business into, I guess the thing we're most well known for is Monument Valley, this mobile game that we made.
Oh, it's such a beautiful game.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like inspired by MC Escher architecture. It's like these impossible shapes that like bend your mind when you play it. I think
and
that
the
was
music just takes you to another place, doesn't it?
Absolutely lovely. It's like very immersive. I think that was that's how I knew about ustwo. Like, just because I played that game, I think that was like this, planted the seed in my mind. To
you thought, wow, this is a cool
infiltrate.
company.
Yeah. And then later on it happened. But as well as the games team, which was like spun out after Monument Valley did really well, we'd also started making doing a few joint ventures like Dice, the ticketing app, or like making small investments into companies we just thought were doing like really interesting creative work. Yeah. And then over time that kind of became Adventure. And Adventure now is where we invest money into, just like what I said, like interesting creative businesses that we think are just quite well aligned in terms of values to us too. And I really enjoy sort of like getting to see what all these amazing people are doing and trying my best to nurture or just to give space to like these amazing creative people. And also we recently have just started a new program called First Mile, which is kind of what my roadshow is about.
Yeah, First Mile looks great. It's like about supporting somebody in the first year of their startup, isn't it?
Yeah, like the very first steps. So for first-time founders, we want to kind of build really long in duration, so a 12-month program for a very small group of first-time founders who are building creative companies that are really driven by values. But I think in our landscaping that we did, about a year ago now, when we were looking at what types of support are there out there in the world for startups, they fall into like a few categories that are all kind of on the very sort of like venture capital, the hyper growth side of things. You've got like accelerator programs, and that's kind of in the name, really. It'll sort of like 3 months, you get like loads of support, and which mostly is like pitch training, and then you get thrown to the investors and make loads of money. Yeah, exactly. Or there's just like early stage investors that still kind of taking investment anyway is inherently puts you on that path to be like an Americanized VC-funded business, which is actually a totally fine way to run a business. But I think we felt there was a bit of a gap missing for just people that maybe aren't really sure what exact path they want to take with their company. Maybe they want to build an agency, so not like that might not have the scale that investors want. Maybe they don't want to take the VC path, but they want to bootstrap their business and own all of it. Maybe they want to build something that is cooperatively owned, for example. Or maybe they just don't know yet and they just want to try and see and be creative. So we've created First Mile to kind of hopefully tackle some of that other type of support that's a bit more personalised.
Yeah, so you're coming at it, I suppose, from a much earlier spot where they might not have figured out what they want their actual business to be. They might have a great idea, because not everybody is kind of, and that's not a bad thing, not everybody has that sort of entrepreneurial kind of head. They've got the ideas and the creativity, and they know how to make something and build something, and they know kind of where they want to be, but it's learning all these things along the way, isn't it? It can be quite, can take quite a lot to get your head around.
Exactly, yeah. And I think as well, especially for like creative people who just want to build something, a lot of the like narrative around running a business isn't really targeted towards them. It's like, you want to build a business, you've got to be like ruthless, and you've got to have this business mindset, and you've got to have an MBA. But like being a creative entrepreneur is like, no one's really speaking to you. No, I think, or like in a way that is relevant.
No.
There probably are, but not as many.
And I suppose as well, not all of us come from backgrounds where we've kind of had the kind of upbringing that we've just got this confidence instilled in us from the get-go. We come from different upbringings, different parts of the world and different cultures. And we're not all given that kind of foundation where, I'm not suggesting it's necessarily a privileged foundation, but there is that issue, isn't there?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah. Especially founders from underrepresented backgrounds, like just often don't have the confidence to go into a room full of investors and pitch. Yeah. And they don't have the educational experience. Like,
that's intimidating.
Yeah, totally. I mean, not always, but I mean, there's definitely a trend there, and it is quite tough. And even if they did, which many of them do, it's still kind of hard to go into a room of people that don't look or sound or feel anything like you.
Yeah, God, it is.
And sell them your business or your idea.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to kind of come in, swoop in and sort of help plug that gap and help people sort of get over that hurdle. And I suppose it's quite satisfying to see somebody go from that kind of, initial phase of uncertainty, not really knowing the next step. And then you sort of help sort of almost like a, like a plant. You take it to a nice bright shade in the window, that spot in the window, and water it and help it grow and stand back and see these people flourish. I mean, that must be great. That must be the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, I honestly, I love it. It's really nice. I mean, we've just opened up the application window for First Mile. I think it's open for another month. So I'm just really enjoying seeing all these like amazing businesses just sort of come through the web form.
Yeah.
And we've run kind of similar programs in the past. We used to have a co-working space in our London studio.
Yeah.
Where we had like residency programs. So like a lot of the sort of foundational ideas around sort of support have kind of come from those programs. So, and those are always just really amazing to sort of find the people and see them grow. But also I'm very conscious that it's the first time we're doing something with this structure, and we're offering funding for the businesses on the program. So there are a few key differences that I'm kind of excited to see how they play out for the first time, and there's definitely a learning opportunity for us as well.
That's great. I mean, how on earth do you choose the people that you're going to support? Because obviously you'll want to help everybody.
Yeah, it's ongoing discussion. So I think we've got maybe 140 or 150 applicants so far. We're just over halfway through the window.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested. I've kind of I've purposefully not taken a deep look at all of them yet. I've kind of seen them come in, maybe had a few glances to spot some trends. Importantly, the programme's location agnostic within the UK. So I'm trying to get as much geographic diversity as possible.
Sure.
Because the programme is remote first. So it just kind of makes sense for us to get founders from all corners of the country and try and help them.
When you say remote first, do you mean you're looking for people who literally are remote and work from home, or?
Yeah, or like all the mentorship and support that is given throughout the programme is remote first. So we can dial in for the mentoring sessions and sort of do all the workshops remotely and so on. But equally, a big part of the reason why we're offering some £10,000 for each person who joins the programme is that it can cover things like travel costs if they need to come down to London for some meetings, which I think is going to be inevitable a bit throughout the year.
Fantastic. Now, this other thing that's happened recently that's quite big news for us too is that you've recently, is it called the B Plan?
B Corp.
B Corp.
Yeah, we've done it.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I'd never heard about it until I was sort of reading about ustwo this morning.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a movement that's growing, especially in the last few years. So, I mean, at its broadest level, which is probably the only way I can deeply describe it because I wasn't too involved in the process, it's a certification that any business can attempt to get where you get scored in a range of things, including like environmental sustainability, civic engagement, how you treat your employees and transparency and so on. And you have to meet quite stringent criteria and then if you get, I think, a minimum of 80 points out of a potential, I think it's 200, but like it's really hard.
Yeah,
you can
but it is.
Be certified as a B Corp. And it took us to about a year in terms of like looking at it and being like, yeah, no brainer. We definitely want to do that. It makes so much sense for us to do. And then a year later and like a handful of policy changes and like articles of association updates and like all this crazy stuff in terms of like changing how we operate the business or even just monitoring things that were already there. We did it.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's brilliant. And I mean, it sounds like ustwo are a brilliant place to work.
Yeah, I think so. As an employee there. And
yeah, you're going to say that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shove the microphone in your face and say,
yeah.
Come on, spill the dirt.
Yeah, tell us what it's really like. But no, I mean, obviously I think it's a really good place to work. But also it's like just a good place to sort of work with as well. Like I really enjoy, like, you know, at the very heart of what ustwo is independence. Like we're an independently owned business. I don't think that kind of filters down through many layers of the company in terms of how we operate the company and how employees feel, but also how we engage with clients, giving them agency as well as us over the work that we build together, the companies that we invest in. How can you nurture their independence while helping them grow in a way that works well for them and not just for us as like the investor.
The partnership sell.
Yeah.
I love it.
Exactly. I think that's quite
how
important.
it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you have to be in it for the long term, not a kind of sort of hit and run approach, more of a kind of, you know, this is us working alongside you to make your business better. Yeah,
totally. I think you've like in the long run, you've hit the nail on the head there. That's something we really believe in, and especially like when it comes to sort of taking investment and like how typical investors kind of see things. It's very like you've got to sell your business within 7 years or you're worthless to us, and they will push you to do that.
Yeah,
and in many cases that is kind of aligned with what the founders want, right? And then that's fine. But there are many cases where that's not the case, and inevitably tension arises.
Yeah.
So we try to take a longer term view, which we are privileged to be able to do because we're independently owned, and we don't have our own investors to answer to in the way that like
putting
a typical
pressure
fund
on you
would.
to...
Yeah, exactly. So it's very easy for us to say that, it's a very good thing, but equally, like, I'm sure many other investors do want to take a longer term view, but I guess like the mechanics of how they are set up makes it hard to do that.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
So what's your own background? Because you studied physics, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I've done my research.
Scientist. Yeah, you're very well done.
You're impressed
then,
weren't
you were saying that you wanted to be a detective earlier, and I can see how those skills are.
Inspector Gadget, not necessarily Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe you did some gadgety detective work to find out my degree. But yeah, I moved to London to study physics. because I thought at the time that's what I wanted to do. I was quite good at it in my A levels. So moved to
interesting subject.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting. I mean, I'm still kind of fascinated by it, more so now that I'm not in it. Actually, it's the kind of thing where like the deeper you get and the more sort of layers of the onion you unpeel, the sort of harder it is to take a step back and be like, oh, this is actually really amazing, interesting work. But instead you just get so caught up in the minutiae of like the various equations and the mechanics and all this stuff where
and
it's
how
just
the
a
universe.
bit like, and I think it's quite hard to, or for me, I found it tough to keep that appreciation for the bigger picture while I was just there struggling with maths. So I studied physics and then briefly worked as a data scientist in this biotech company, and then later worked for a company that ran co-working spaces. And I guess at those two jobs, my kind of innate love of design kind of blossomed a bit.
Great.
Because, I mean, one of the sort of big triggers for me was the absolute travesty that is visualizing the data sets that I was working on for genetic in the biotech company, where we were working with like quite interesting genetic data sets. But it was just really abstract and really hard to visualize. So I think appreciating probably for the first time in like a business context how design could be really valuable. And no one else in the company really, at the time at least, cared about it in the same way. I think that was like the first spark that was like, maybe there's some value here that's being missed.
What a wonderful way to get into design and creativity. Coming from a kind of physics, mathematical, data, rich background, and then suddenly, this needs to look better.
Exactly. And critically be like understandable.
Exactly. Because that's what design's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Just making that experience better. So then throughout that second job where I was working in a co-working space, I was kind of watching a lot of YouTube videos, teaching myself design at the same time.
Brilliant.
And I was very fortunate to have a close friend, Iggy, who was in one of the co-working spaces that I worked at, who runs a design agency called Dark Blue. And he was really he was very important in my self-learning. He was always giving me like pointers and things to look at and references that kind of helped me build that baseline of like design knowledge and credibility that really helped me sort of take my career in design to the next step.
Isn't it great? There's always one person, isn't there, that's kind of given us that little bit of an encouragement. And we're so lucky when we come across those people. They might just give us a little nudge, or they might be a former boss, or somebody that's just given us that confidence to go down a different path entirely. And so that was kind of what happened then. You just kind of fell in love with design, and here you are now working for ustwo. But you're a web developer and a designer.
So I guess when I was at the tail end of my self-learning journey at my last company, I got in touch with ustwo, with the founder Mills actually through some. There's a fun story there. Maybe we'll get to it later. And then over the course of like a conversation for a few months that lasted a few months, it turns out there was a job.
Brilliant.
And this is, like I was saying earlier, one adventure was like really just rearing its head as like a part of the group. And there was the Adventure Floor, which is kind of our own co-working space that we gave part subsidised desk space to like many of those companies that we thought were just doing like creative, interesting work. And I was also doing some sort of like junior design work in the studio.
Sure.
And then over time I started learning web development as well, which
as you do. Just
as
randomly.
I think
that's not difficult.
I mean, I thought I was fortunate in that sense to have some sort of software development background in, like with physics. A lot of it these days is programming based, so there was some foundational knowledge that I guess had some translatable skills that helped me to
you picked it up quite
coding.
easily.
I think so. So I was very lucky to have that, but for me those are like the more creative side of coding is really what helps, and my sort of adjacent like self-learning and design helps me really level up quicker in the way that like doing a lot of the data science work was really arduous and slow for me.
And frustrating, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with these terrible visualizations.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Data's so ugly.
I know, yeah. Well, not anymore. No,
well,
still
not
actually
anymore,
it is.
no.
Yeah. Mostly still it is. But yeah, so I started learning like design and code, like especially in the early part of ustwo, and now kind of maybe a third of my role is design and software development, which is quite nice alongside all the adventure stuff.
That's fantastic. So you are a busy man, and running around the UK and helping people as well. I mean, not only are you getting that lovely career satisfaction doing something you love and more interesting kind of juicy stuff that you can get your teeth into, but you're also helping other people to realise their dreams. You know, you kind of probably wake up every day and think, gosh, is this real?
Yeah.
Nice.
There are days like that, but also it can sometimes be really hard, I think.
Is this where the darkness comes out? You tell us the truth.
The real story is about to come out. But like in my sort of like, when I'm thinking about like my career, I often feel a bit of tension of like, do I want to be like a practitioner versus do I want to be an enabler?
Yeah.
And 80% of the time I'm fine with, my job is to do both, and I absolutely adore doing both, and I don't want to give either up. But some of the time when I'm seeing like some of the amazing work my colleagues put out, for example, I'm like, I'd love to be able to just spend all of my time working to get to that level.
Yes.
As a designer or as a software developer, for example.
But you're just 25, aren't you? So you've got like your whole career ahead of you. I think this is a really good way to begin, you know, in your 20s. You can sort of get all this experience and meet all these amazing contacts who are probably going to go on to build amazing businesses. And you're in the sort of middle of all of that perfect storm. Yeah. And you know, if you find that in a couple of years' time, okay, this was good fun, but now I need to sort of really sort of knuckle down and build things and make things and be part of that, then the world's your oyster. You can do that. Yeah, I'm jealous. I wish I was 25 again.
It sounds like you've done some amazing stuff yourself. So.
Oh no, you know, just really. You've turned the camera back around to me.
Yeah, turning this table that's already been turned today.
Yeah, I think for the benefit of the listeners, I've like kind of trapped Neef in his seat with the table right up against him so he can get some good sound on his microphone. It's really funny because
hopefully it's working.
Yeah, it's the way I intimidate my guests. You know, I just trap them, put them in with the table, and there we go. It's not a very sophisticated setup.
Yeah. Then they start to sweat, and you can get the you can get the real truth out of them.
Oh yeah, I've got a lamp that comes down any minute now, and I start shining it in your face, and I'll say, right then, Neef. No, I'm joking. Okay. You look horrified then.
Yeah. Really not good with light.
It's me. I have to work on my humour.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you can relax.
I'm quite a trusting guy. So.
Yeah, like I'm very sarcastic and always sort of having a bit of a joke and a banter with people, but sometimes it just falls dead. Like it just did then when you looked up at the ceiling and thought, where's this lamp coming from?
Is it that one? Is it that one? I can't see any lever. They're not coming down. Yeah, that's all right. I mean, we have literally just met, so hopefully by the end of this podcast, there's going to be sarcastic jokes left, right, and centre.
Hopefully you'll be taking the mick out of me and telling me where I'm going
I'm already
wrong.
Planning.
Yeah,
my
good.
Revenge.
Good. I hope so. I hope it's brutal.
Yeah, no,
you know,
it will.
I can take it.
I don't want to make any promises.
I love it. So apart from running First Mile, sorry.
That's all right.
What else is going on behind the scenes? Are you going to be sort of championing these people that you choose? Are you going to be helping with their marketing, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, kind of whatever they want. A big bet that we're making with First Mile is that it's longer duration, 12 months compared to most like accelerator programs, which last maybe 3. And it's small volume, which is going to be, there's probably going to be up to 4 founders or 4 founding teams on the program at any given time. A big part of the reason we're doing that is so that the program can be really personalised. Yeah. So someone who is joining and actually throughout the course of the year, the things that they really need support on are, I really need help with the financial modelling and forecasting for the business, as well as marketing and like setting up a marketing foundation for the company. Great. Those are 2 things that we can sort of massage the mentorship, the 2-tiered mentorship scheme towards for them. But equally someone who's like, great, I'm building a tech product and I really want some mentorship in back-end web development because I'm a front-end software developer and that is an area of expertise that's lacking. Cool, great. We've got plenty of people who are amazing at that us too, and we can support you really acutely there. So yeah, it remains to be seen how well that will work out, and I'm sure it will evolve.
Yeah, exactly.
Broadly, that's our thinking.
Brilliant. So you can just, this is like literally the first time you're trying this out.
And you're first mile.
Wow. Yeah. And it's a bit of a handful, a mouthful rather. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be nice because you can then sort of see what's worked, what hasn't, and then what are you going to call the program next year? Is it going to be second mile?
Yeah, well, maybe I think it'll be second first mile.
Yeah.
Because the founders are still, it'll be a bunch of founders that are on their first mile. And it's all about them.
Yeah.
But it's our second first mile.
So have you got any ideas that you'd pitch if you were in, the other shoe? I'm putting you on the spot now.
Honestly, no. I'm very unentrepreneurial.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I like making things, and I've got like a bunch of fun ideas for like experiments, but none of them are businesses.
Yeah, because you've got a couple of things that you do on the side, haven't you?
Yeah. I like again, coming back to sort of like the design and code stuff. I like having like little side projects. I did one a few years ago with some very close friends of mine and us too, called Studio Something, who are based up in Edinburgh, who I love those guys to bits. And they had this idea, Ian and Jordan and Ken, they had this idea who are three of the people that work there. They had this idea to create a web app where it just plays some emotional and inspiring and thought-provoking speeches alongside some like chilled out music.
Beautiful.
I think they sent me a video once of like how it happened, or they sent me 2 videos that were like, we were just playing these by accident in the studio and it was amazing, and it was some speech and some like lo-fi beats and it was just quite funny. They were like, do you know anyone that who could help us turn this into a website? And at the time I was kind of at the beginning of learning web development, so I was like, maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
And by maybe I could do that, what I really meant was maybe I could annoy all of my colleagues who are better at this than me to learn how to do it, so then I could do it. And over the course of like, I don't know, a few weeks, I kind of slowly put together this website that I've done a few updates to since, and it was like really fun. It was like one of my first like things that I put out, and I was like, yeah, I'm really proud of this, put it on Product Hunt, and it was just really fun. I really like that. So I've got a few things like that are kind of similar, just like free, fun ideas or websites that are maybe helpful or useful or just interesting that I would make, but I don't think I'd ever turn any of them into a business.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, those kind of things are a great opportunity to just learn some new skills and like boost your confidence. I mean, you think, wow, I did it. I can do that. And you come away thinking, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, totally. That was like maybe just over 2 years ago. And I remember if I didn't have that thing that I made and put out publicly, I definitely wouldn't have grown as much as a software developer at that time. So I look back on that and reflect, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really happy that I did that. Yeah. Even though at the time I was just like, oh yeah, making this fun little thing, maybe it'll be used, maybe not. But now I'm like, yeah, people saw it and it gave me a lot of confidence to even like start calling myself a web developer. Like I've had this whole thing of like, because I didn't study design or code, and I got into it really late, I've had this whole like imposter syndrome thing, and it just really took me ages to even start calling myself a designer. I was just like, oh yeah, I do design. But then the step from doing that to like calling myself a designer or a software developer was like a really big moment for me.
Yeah, I think it's a big moment for all of us. It's crazy, isn't it, if we haven't done the right qualifications, or if we've not done enough of the time, I suppose, that we don't feel we can call ourselves something.
Yeah.
But that's essentially who you are. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, it's the things that I care about, the things that give me energy. So it's quite, I think a lot about imposter syndrome a lot, and how to sort of help other people get over that hump, because it's really important. I mean, how many podcasts did you make before you started calling yourself a podcaster?
I haven't actually started calling myself a podcaster.
Well, maybe today's the day.
Today, Neef, is the day.
Katie, I think you're a podcaster.
I am Katie Cohen. Yeah. This is a private joke, because we were talking about how we pronounce surnames and stuff, and you got my surname right, but I was telling you about all these people who call me Cohen, like a Cohen brother or something, which would be pretty cool.
It would be cool.
I'm Katie Cohen, and I'm a podcaster.
Yeah,
there you go.
The world's first.
Little clap.
Oh, yeah, well done. We're in a cinema now, so I'm just expecting like a standing ovation.
Absolutely, that would be great, wouldn't it? I should do a kind of live podcast. That could be good fun.
Yeah,
get an audience involved.
Yeah, I'm going to plug a friend's podcast now, and they did a live episode recently. It's called Techish. It's these two friends of Ustwo's and mine, called Abadesi and Michael, and they run this program, this podcast called Techish, and they did a live one recently that I'm really annoyed I didn't go to.
Was it really good fun?
Yeah, it was sold out. Everyone loved it. Like all the feedback was amazing.
Great.
I think they had a really good time, so I'd recommend it.
Okay, well, baby steps. This is.
You've just started calling yourself a podcaster.
I've just started calling myself a podcaster. I'm not quite a live podcaster, but that is something that's brewing in the back of my mind, and different formats for podcasts as well, because at the moment I'm just doing, interviews with either one or two people. Maybe I'll start doing, Q&As and like, live webinars and things like that. But, just one step at a time.
Yeah. You'll get there.
I will. But I think that's something we all suffer from a little bit. There are some who say they don't. They're quite confident. I'm really kind of amazed by those people who never get that kind of, we all have those days, don't we, really? Where we're like, we wake up and we're like, oh, I'm not good enough and I can't do this today.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how old you get. I mean, one of the things my dad said to me when I was a kid, he said, Kate, if the first thing you figure out is that most people are just making it up as they go along, then you'll do very well in life. And that's always stood by me. Because once you realise that secret, you can just sort of take the pressure off yourself a little bit and relax. Yeah, it's great.
Totally. Very liberating. Two of my friends and heroes are Alex Fafega, who runs a design studio in London called Kamuzi, and Nafisa Bakar, who runs Amalia, a platform for amplifying the voices of Muslim women. And you get, and they are both they're both amazing people and are doing amazing things in their career. But both on social media and in person, they're always reminding people that, they're making things up as they go along, or don't believe the hype, show people behind the scenes. I think that's so important, especially for entrepreneurs, to tell people what it's really like behind the scenes sometimes, or just be really obvious that I'm making this up right now. Because otherwise it's so easy to just look at the facade that someone puts up and compare your behind the scenes to someone else's facade and then feel really bad about yourself.
Of course.
So I think it's really important to just sort of share everything.
Talk and be open and not try and sort of put up this kind of pretense that everything's okay. And it's okay if everything is okay. That's great. Yeah. But to imply that everything's perfect all the time for the sake of saving face or being worried about what people think. I mean, I think it's difficult sometimes in the creative industries. I think this whole conversation about mental health and, we call it mental health. I think there's another word for it. I call it being human, being normal. But yeah, it's only been recently that people are starting to feel comfortable talking about it, because I think before you wouldn't dare talk about it because it might affect your career. You might not get that client. You might not be able to get on the first mile program, what have you. Not that, us two would think that way, but you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
It's kind of a new thing, and people are saying, oh, it's okay, you can talk about it.
Yeah,
You're
which
normal.
is great. I'm looking forward to it also. The next step of it just being pervasive in people's day-to-days and still not being referred to as mental health.
Yeah, exactly.
Is a specific thing. So I think we'll get there. But yeah, I mean, you growing up in Warrington as well, it's in a town in the northwest of England.
Small town.
Yeah. I think it's actually the second biggest town in the country.
All right, okay, I take it back.
A small part of the country.
I have a few friends from Warrington. I like to wind people up.
Okay, this is just for them.
This is a wind up.
Okay, good. Well, hopefully not winding me up. But it's, a lot of these conversations, when I was growing up at least, would have just never happened there.
No. Well, nowhere, I don't think. Not even in the cities, really.
Yeah, true. I guess I didn't have that experience.
Well, yeah, because you were probably not even born when I was in the city for the first time. But yeah, you were just kind of told to get on with it.
Yeah.
It was a different thing. If you went to your boss in your 20s, in my day, because I graduated in 2000. But yeah, if you went to your boss and you had an issue, it's kind of like, just get on with it. Apart from Colin Palmer. He was wonderful. He was one of my bosses I had at Saga Radio when I worked there when I was about 23, 24. He was wonderful, really, really supportive. He was the one that said to me, Katie, go into PR, you'd be good at that. Because at the time, radio was completely changing. Yeah. And Saga is no longer, sadly. I think it's now part of Smooth Radio. Anyway, I'm going on about me. My point is, everything has just changed so much. It's now like, you can sort of raise those things with your employer and it's not kind of going to affect your career. They've got to take it seriously.
Yeah, and help you and work together.
And support you.
Yeah. The thing is, you just have to understand that, as an employer, which I'm not.
Yeah.
Putting myself
you might
in
be
my
one,
employer. Yeah, who
one
knows?
day. Yeah.
In my non-entrepreneurial future, I might be an employer. But yeah, even just my boss just in, the founders of ustwo, they clearly care so much about the people. And I think it's not something that in the future should be like a bonus. It should
shouldn't be like-
base. It should be the minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
It
it's
shouldn't be like,
frustrating.
oh, that's a great place to work. They're quite rare. That should be, that's
This is what I expect, isn't
that's
it?
what's
as
expected.
an employee.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to work anywhere that doesn't offer that. So I think we're kind of getting there, but it's still so disheartening to see a lot of these like really big companies just clearly not care
Yeah.
about any of this stuff.
So what was your childhood like in Warrington? Where did you hang out at weekends? Where did you go? Did you go into Manchester, Liverpool?
Yeah, sometimes into Manchester, sometimes to Liverpool. But I mean, mostly spent time in the Was.
The Was? Is that what you call it?
Wazza. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to use that on my friends who are from Warrington.
Great. They're going to love it.
Are you going back home to see the parents in the Was? They'll be like so impressed.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thanks. But growing up there, strange. Yeah, I mean, it's the only place I've ever grown up, so I don't have any, I can't compare it meaningfully to anything else.
Yeah.
But since moving to London, I mean, Warrington's a very white place, like incredibly white place. But that's just not something I really appreciated until I moved to London and sort of experienced real diversity and sort of like a different type of belonging than what I was used to. So that was like a very strange, I guess, like awakening when I moved to London. But again, not something that I really paid much attention to at the time because I was so young and I didn't really I guess have like the vernacular or even inclination at the time to sort of like think about that stuff.
Yeah.
But apart from that, Warrington, it's pretty a nice place. The town's pretty dull.
Yeah.
But the outskirts of Warrington, I think, are like
Compared to
really
London,
lovely.
I mean.
Yeah, but also like compared to Manchester for sure. Like, which is why I loved coming here. Like when I was like on the weekends and stuff, just hanging out. And my dad's from Manchester as well, so I used to spend a lot of time, go to Rush Home, get a lot of nice food from the Curry Mile, and bring it back often.
Where can you recommend? Because we're kind of we're always venturing down that way, and we never know where to go.
I mean, I actually have zero idea of any of the places' names, but like I just know I can walk down the road and like go in. I can like.
You know where it is.
Yeah, maybe later we can go on Google Maps Street View and I'll point at the places that will get the best.
Okay.
I'll be like, oh yeah, that one. But I actually have no idea what the names are.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but my dad grew up like just behind one of like the main road, the Curry Mile, so he knows the place really well.
Yeah. Oh, and I suppose your parents would be mega proud of you going down to London and working at one of the biggest creative agencies in the world. And
yeah, I think so. I mean, I've got this like classic. Ethnic minority child, like raised in the UK thing where kind of, trying to get into the creative industries, being an industry that my parents didn't have like a huge awareness of.
Yeah.
It was definitely like a bit of a shock moment for them, but my parents are so supportive and I'm very grateful for that. But like everything I hear from other people who have who've had a similar upbringing to me, every time they explain their sort of like journey into the creative industries and how like running it past their parents went, for example, I'm like, oh yeah, I can relate to that big time. I studied science, it's a family scientist. Like I've got two older sisters who are amazing.
Yeah.
One studied biology, the other biochemistry. I went and did physics.
Gosh.
So obviously there's a trend.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think there's this like
all smart kids.
Yeah, or just kids that kind of had that like very scientific viewpoint for their careers very early on.
Yeah.
Which I think is common. And from what I've heard and kind of what makes sense to me, immigrant families often care so much about job security, and because that's something that they never really had as a kid. And also like the careers that they were used to weren't particularly creative at the time when they were growing up, for example.
And so, small town, big city, and now...
It sounds like the beginning of a Broadway show.
It should be.
From the small town to the big city.
Are you into that? Are you into musicals?
Not really. Maybe I should write one now.
You should.
I think that sounds like I've got a lot of material.
You have got a lot of material.
Yeah, I want to go to more shows and musicals. I'd never do it. I'm a big cinema fan. It's quite funny because we're in a cinema recording this right now. But
this beautiful space.
Yeah, it's great. I worked in a cinema for 3 years when I was at university, and I loved it. One of the best jobs I've ever had. Like perfect for being a student. You got to see free films all the time.
You've got that on your website.
As
your kind of experience.
Yeah,
and I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of like showing everything, just in case people can like relate up to some or all of it.
Well, it shows that if you've done that for 3 years to help get yourself through university, that from an employer's point of view, it shows that you're prepared to work hard and and not muck about.
Exactly.
And also, it's something you should be proud of. I mean, there's this weird thing in the creative industries, isn't there? Or in any industry, I guess, where people kind of aren't proud of these kind of temporary, if they want to call them temporary jobs, before they sort of have their break into the industry and do the more creative thing that they want.
Yeah, I see that a lot. And I mean...
No shame in working.
No, not at all. And everything you do shapes who you are, your creative inputs that will then become your outputs, right? So I think it's important to acknowledge them at the very least.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the creative industries, like there's obviously this, like, you know, just put the highlights up, you know, your portfolio is like just the best things, which I totally get it. But yeah, I've got a bit of like, I just like having everything there.
And you loved working in the cinema because you just got to see all the movies.
Yeah, I'm a big film fan, so I saw like every film that came out at the time I was working there. So it was really nice.
What's have you got a favourite film? I like to ask people this because I'm a big movie buff.
I've got a top 3 and they're in very close contention.
Oh, okay.
So
does it change often?
Yeah, I mean, my number 1, depending on what mood I am, will be one of these 3 films.
Okay.
One of them is John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, okay.
Really good, like
amazing.
Horror, like classic horror film.
Mr. Carpenter.
I love the like practical effects they made the film with, and it's so unsettling. Like it gets under your skin a lot. I adore that film.
Yeah.
One is Embrace of the Serpent. It's a Colombian film that came out maybe 5 years ago now. It's all about this seemingly last of his indigenous community in the Colombian Amazon. This gentleman and his relationship with a European colonialist who is kind of helping him, but also is kind of exfiltrating value from his community in a way. And it covers this kind of like symbiotic, but also insidious relationship between these 2 people. And it has quite an interesting narrative of how it like explores time as something that's in many indigenous communities in the Amazon. Imagine and feel time is like a cyclical thing.
Yes.
So the film's narrative is quite cyclical.
Oh, that's clever.
Quite like. And it's, at the end of the day, it's all about like hallucinogenics as well, and sort of like their meaningful role in indigenous communities and their not meaningful role for other people.
Yes.
So that's one of them. And then the third one is Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings.
Oh, Cool Runnings. Yeah. My
Classic.
Goodness me.
Yeah,
those
are my top 3.
Film.
Yeah, Cool Runnings. I love that film so much.
Well, I love John Candy.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, he was lovely.
Yeah,
have you seen Uncle Buck?
Yeah, of course.
All those classics.
Yeah, he's great. But
they come out at Christmas, don't they?
Yeah, well, Cool Runnings always Christmas. John Candy always. Uncle Buck always. He's always there. He's somewhere. One of his films.
So funny.
Yeah, I just love his like big character. And Cool Runnings, I just love so much that like emotional scene. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but there is an emotional scene.
I wonder how many people haven't seen that yet. That was a classic from the 90s?
Yeah, I watched it so much as a kid. Like it was always on telly. I used to watch the same film over and over again a lot, like even like multiple times the same day when I was, I don't know, like 8 or something.
Oh, have you seen They Live? Carpenter's They Live?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, quite scary.
Yeah, I mean,
all these subliminal messages.
I'm a big fan of these kind of like horror films that aren't horror films, but like they're not so like jump scare or like in your face. There's kind of this sort of like
dystopian underlying kind of
just
weirdness.
unsettling. One of my favourite films like that is Nightcrawler. With Jake Gyllenhaal and Riz Ahmed.
I've not actually seen that.
Really good film. You should watch it.
Okay.
I mean, there was like a stretch of like, I don't know, it was like 3 or 4 years where Jake Gyllenhaal every year was in this like this psychological thriller every single year. I think he was in, which one was it? I think Prisoners, this film with him and Hugh Jackman, really long film, absolutely harrowing film about like a father whose child is abducted, and then this sort of like this detective that comes to sort of like solve the case and how the story unravels. It's like harrowing. And then I think the year after that, Jake Gyllenhaal was in Enemy.
Yeah.
A Denis Villeneuve film.
I've not seen any of these. How rubbish am I?
That was a really good film. I'd recommend it.
I've got to do some catching up.
Yeah. I'll send you a list.
I like that.
And then I think the year after Jake Gyllenhaal was in Nightcrawler, and I can't remember. And maybe it was there was one the year after, Nocturnal Animals, I think, as well. Like,
there's another one.
All those films are like, I think they all came out.
He went quite dark, didn't he, for quite a few years?
Yeah, that was so strange. Funnily enough, I was listening to a podcast on the way up here about Jake Gyllenhaal, like I think it's the Mystery Show or something.
Right.
It's about this woman's podcast, and in it she is tasked with finding out how tall Jake Gyllenhaal is, because there's like so much conflicting information on the internet, and it's very funny.
Oh, fantastic! How tall is he? Did
I
they
think,
find out?
I don't want to spoil it.
Spoil it. Okay.
I will actually. He's 5'11.5" according to his own account in this in the culmination of this podcast.
So I really love movies, and I think they kind of. I mean, you can just escape in them, can't you?
Yeah.
And it takes you off into another world. And I think sometimes it always depends on what kind of mood you're in as well, like whether you want sort of happy or dark and dystopian. Do you feel like you're quite a sort of happy person in real life? So you'll naturally sort of go towards these kind of darker films just to sort of balance things out a little bit?
Yeah, maybe. I've never thought of it in that way, and now you're making me think that might be the case.
Gosh.
Yeah, but I do like happy films as well. Yeah, yes, this is really great for free. I'm just getting some counselling session. But I think that maybe that is the case. But I do like happy films.
Yeah.
What was a happy film that I saw recently? Oh no, can't think of one. I'm sure I've seen one.
Toy Story 4?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Saw that recently.
I saw that recently. I was impressed.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
What was a good film that I saw? Oh, I saw Uncut Gems recently. That was very stressful film to watch.
See, again, the stress and the darkness.
Yeah,
I love it.
That was quite dark.
Have you heard that? I don't know if you're into computer games, but
oh, I am.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Naughty Dog, makers of The
Crash
Last of Us. Oh,
and back in the day, Crash Bandicoot. I think they did Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, I love that game so much.
Yeah, I used to play it a lot.
I did. I could never get past a certain bit because I was rubbish at it. Because I think I had to borrow somebody's console because it was only on. What was it on?
It's PlayStation.
I didn't have a PlayStation at the time, so I was always just going around and borrowing my friends. Yeah. And I have a PlayStation now, and I love it, and I'm obsessed with things like The Last of Us and anything kind of like End of the World. Yeah. Although I really enjoyed Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah, I played some of that. It was fun.
Great. Get to be a cowboy again. When are they going to do a lead female character? What's wrong with a lead female character going around tooting, shooting? Yeah,
there was that one. I forget her name. There was one female character that was like by the end of the game kind of became that.
She was.
But then you didn't play as her.
You didn't actually
just kind of
play as her.
Interacted with her. Yeah, so
it was very frustrating.
A shame.
Yeah, very, very frustrating. Although there is what's it called? Horizon Zero Dawn. That's got a female protagonist.
I've not played that game, but it looks so stunning. Like the art style of these like massive animals and stuff.
Amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. I've not played it yet. I've just not found the time. But anyway, The Last of Us, they're turning into a TV series, HBO.
Cool.
Same chap who did Chernobyl.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be, which is going to be fantastic. So I'm really excited about that. And of course, The Last of Us 2's out in May. So that's good.
Big year for the franchise.
At ustwo, you don't get a chance to sort of build any lovely games then?
No, I mean, I spend a lot of time with the games team. I mean, what I consider a great privilege of working in the adventure team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just come back to ustwo's organisational structure again. We've got three parts of the business. So the studio group, which is like most of the company employee-wise, where we have 4 main studios in New York, London, Sydney and Malmö. And we have the games team, who are based in South London, and then adventure, which is basically me and my colleague Justin. But because we're so small, and B, because we interact with the rest of the company to sort of find mentors and also like strategically align some of the investments we make, for example, with the broader business, I get to interact with games and studios a lot, which I absolutely adore.
Great.
So I get to see a lot of the stuff that they're working on, but it's I never get to work on it. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Yeah,
maybe you just put your hand up one day and say, okay,
please.
I want a new challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
After you sort of obviously seen for First Mile through.
Yeah, of course.
For a couple of years. Only after. Yeah, you've got to have that on your CV.
Exactly. But I'm currently arduously trying to learn this shader language, programming language called GLSL, which is how you write it's how you, for example, if there's like a 3D object, you want to give it certain color, lighting effects, how it interacts with its environment from like shading, but also like other, like even like how its shape evolves and moves over time. It's a really fun way to just make wacky visuals.
Fantastic.
So I'm trying to learn that at the moment, and a lot of that you can use in Unity, which is how we make our games, ustwo games.
Sure.
So maybe you'll learn that enough to then hopefully contribute a tiny bit to one of the games.
Well, it's an insurance policy, isn't it? You're saying, okay, I'm doing this at this moment, but in future I might do that. So in the meantime, I'm going to learn how to use these things.
The GLSL game.
Step up and say, right, I'm ready for my next challenge, Mr.
Yeah.
Or Mrs. ustwo.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would like to contribute to the games team, but their work, I mean, they're currently working on a lot of amazing stuff that I'm really excited to see come out.
Well, that's very exciting. And hopefully now that we've had a laugh and got to know each other, I can sort of get some little sneak peeks.
Yeah, who knows? Probably not.
No, probably not. Oh, damn. Should have made a few more jokes.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, 3 more and then we're in.
If I'd have admitted Cool Runnings was also my favourite film, maybe.
Yeah, that's anyone that does that.
That would have been a clincher.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have mean I was in and then no questions asked.
Yeah. So listeners, if you need something from me, just talk about Cool Runnings. Yeah.
And the lovely John Candy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for your time, Neef.
Oh, thanks for having me. This has been great.
It's been great. You're the first person to shake feet with me as well.
Oh yeah, the foot tap.
The foot tap, which was
scary times we're living in right now.
Very scary times.
Hopefully, by the time you're listening to this, those scary times will be over.
Yes, and it will be a thing of the past, and people will not know what we're on about.
Yeah.
But until we see each other again, hopefully we'll be able to shake hands and have a hug.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming up from London, and
thanks.
I can't wait to see what you do next.
Likewise.
Thank you. You've been listening to the Creative Boom podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe or leave us a review. Go to creativeboom.com/podcast to find out more. You can also follow us on Twitter @CreativeBoom or myself at Katie L. Cowan.